Okay, last time we went through the basic wind belt. This is for September 23rd, March 21st. Today I'm going to go look at a solstice wind belt. Now I'm going to pick the summer solstice. That one, the winter solstice and summer solstice are the same, except you just flip it upside down. But to begin with, the Earth is tilted. Okay, we have our poles at 90 degrees, and we'll draw the ice caps in here in a second. But also we have at 0 degrees, we have our equator. Okay, but the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees. So I'm going to draw a dotted line in here because this dotted line here and this dotted line here are the tropics. Okay, and with the Earth's tilt, the sun will be directly over the Tropic of Cancer, on June 21st. It will be directly over the Tropic of Capricorn on December 21st. Okay, and these are named the Tropics of Cancer and Capricorn after the constellation which the sun is in when it is over those. Okay, so directly over, it goes right up here. Okay, there's our sun. I'll color it yellow for you again. Give me 1 second. Now, so there's our sun. Now, what happens on the 21st is the low pressure zone moves. Remember, we had a low pressure zone over the equator on the equinox. Now the low pressure zone is going to be up here on the tropic. Now that low pressure zone makes the air rise toward the sun. Now remember, when we had the air rising, it created this low pressure zone, and it's going to be cloudy and raining. Okay. Now, typically, this is also hurricane season for the Northern Hemisphere. Low pressure zone. Okay. And this is June 21. Now, or 20th usually. What happens is from June 20th all the way through December that they consider this this is when the water is going to be the warmest. It's going to generate a lot of storms. September is a huge storm month. That's when Katrina hit New Orleans. So it can be a kind of scary thing. Okay, now back to the regular wind belts. We have ice caps at the poles, right? And there's my famous 3D ice cap. Okay, now cold air is going to descend on the ice cap. Now, what happens when the low pressure zone moves up? Okay, the sun is directly over the Tropic of Cancer. This is the beginning of the low pressure zone moves. That's the other thing I had to write. Low pressure zone moves. This is hurricane season. In the Northern Hemisphere. Barely got it on there. And what it does is the wind belts in this area are compressed. Okay, it was a high pressure zone over 30 and low pressure over 60, but now it moves up. Okay, our high pressure zone moves up and our low pressure zone moves up. Okay, here in Washington State, this is why we get less rain in the summertime, or part of the reason, because the belts, okay, as the wind belts come around, it compresses those up and it changes that weather flow. Now in the southern hemisphere, okay, there's my beautiful ice cap. Okay, we have that high pressure zone. And don't forget to write high pressure, high pressure. Now, what happens in the southern hemisphere is wind belts in the south and the southern hemisphere are elongated, they stretch. Okay, and so this low pressure zone moves down or toward the equator, and this high pressure zone moves toward the equator too. Okay, so wintertime in Africa, this is known as the Sahel. This is the savanna region. They have a dry winter, just like in our northern hemisphere. Our southeast United States has a dry winter. And this here, this would be about our latitude of Washington State. So this is where we get rain in the wintertime. Okay, and this is way up there. Oh, I got to get some more lines in there. So that rain belt moves north. Now there are some other lines here. We have right about 66.5 degrees. We have the tropic or the Arctic and Antarctic circles. Arctic. Okay. And the Antarctic. Circles. Okay. Things to know. 23.5 degrees. 23.5 degrees. Now, this is, oh, should we go over that right now? I'm not sure if I should. But the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle, they're at 66.5 degrees. Okay, now that's important because in the summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, you get this. Camera draw just a quick light line right through there. And on the back side, okay, you're going to have darkness. Okay. Down here in the southern hemisphere, it'll be dark 24 hours a day. In the north, in the Arctic, it's going to be light 24 hours a day. Okay. So that's why we have the Arctic and Antarctic Circle, and they are 23.5 degrees off of 90. That's why they're at 66.5. Now, the main thing you need to know about this is the different or changing pressure zones. Okay, low pressure, high pressure. High, high, low, low. That's what gives us our seasonal rain. Okay. And it's important in both 6th grade and 7th grade social studies. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Thanks for paying attention. Talk to you guys later.